What's up, YouTube people? Welcome to Jasmine T TV. I'm Jasmine T. Please excuse the lighting, the setup. I don't have my YouTube set up in this apartment quite yet. It's a work in progress, like so many things in my life. But we must keep going. The videos must keep rolling. And today we are going to discuss the 5 things that I disliked about living in Mexico City. The 5 things that made me say, I ain't about this life. All right. But before we get into these 5 things, I did announce this topic in last week's video. So if you missed that, make sure you click above and check out last week's video. And before we dive right on in, I'm going to share, for those people who may have never seen a video on this channel or don't know anything about my time in Mexico, I'm going to share in 60 seconds or less or more, in 60 seconds or less, the 5 things that I did like about Mexico, because it's the interwebs and people always got something to say. So let's provide some balance. All right. So number 1, the weather. To my naturalistas, my hair did not frizz. Number 2, close proximity to the U.S., my fellow Americans. It's easy to go home for things. Also, because we're so close to the U.S., there's a lot of U.S. brands, so it's rare that you'll miss something, okay? So you got Walmart, you got Cheesecake Factory, you got Sally Beauty, okay? There are a lot of familiar things that you will see. Number 4 is the people, all right? You'll hear laughter in the streets. You can talk to strangers. You can't really do that in other countries. And number 5 would have to be tequila. I was not a drinker of tequila before, but 4 months in Mexico, I am now a believer. All right. My favorite is actually Circulo tequila, which is made in Mexico and only found in Mexico and Texas, apparently. If you know where else I can find it, please let me know, or ship a girl a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's great. All right. So those are my 5 top reasons. There are more, but we just doing 5 today. Okay. All right. So let's get into these 5 things. I got my little list on the back of a price tag because I told you I'm a work in progress. All right. Number 1, y'all ready? Number 1, Montezuma's Revenge. All right. If you are not familiar with Montezuma's Revenge, it is basically traveler's diarrhea. Okay. I had never heard of Montezuma's Revenge until I announced that I was going to Mexico, when people in the comments were saying, oh, be careful for Montezuma's Revenge. And I was like, whatever. And then I was also under the impression that it was something that was supposed to last for, 2 weeks. Foreigners in Mexico, we kind of joke that it's like your initiation into Mexico. It's supposed to be just at the beginning. But for whatever reason, Montezuma wouldn't leave me alone. All right. I don't know what type of beef he had with me, but yeah, we didn't get along. It got to the point, y'all, where I ate from the same 4 restaurants, and it's sad. They were American fast food chains, like things I wouldn't even really eat in the States, but I knew that it wasn't gonna mess me up. They tell you to stay away from things like street food. They tell you to drink filtered water. I was doing those things, but I remember I went to a restaurant in Polanco, which is like the Manhattan of Mexico City. And, we had a very, very nice meal. Y'all, I was not okay. Like, I'm talking about, I wasn't even able to leave the restaurant and make it home. All right. Not to be TMI, but as you see in the picture, there was a girl that I was with, and she definitely did text me the next day to check on me to see if I was okay. So for me, it was like, I've tried to follow the rules, but it just didn't work for me. So yeah, man, I ate from the same, like I said, the same 4 places, especially towards the end of my time in Mexico, because I was too scared to eat something else. All right. So yeah, Montezuma's Revenge. So that brings us into number 2, being mindful of what you consume and where you consume it. So, in the States, you see that sanitary inspection grade on the window or on the door when you go into a place. You're looking for the grade A. If you're a risk taker, maybe you're going to grade B or whatever. But, I Googled, and there is a type of department that's supposed to be regulating these things in Mexico, but like, I don't know where they are. So, for example, in Valle de Bravo, I was taking woodworking classes there, and my classmate said, hey, Jasmine, we're going to go eat at a restaurant. And I said, okay, cool. So do we have time? Because all the restaurants that I ate at, they were on the same street, but further up from the school. And so they said, no, it only take us like 3 minutes to get there. And I'm like, all I've seen is furniture stores around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it going to take us 3 minutes to get to a restaurant? I don't understand. Y'all, we started walking towards this furniture store, and next to the furniture store, there was a gate. And next to the gate, there was a field. So we walked through the gate, and I lie to you not. There's legit these two women who have a restaurant, and the tables are set up on the loading dock of the furniture store. And I was just like, y'all, I'm gonna eat with y'all because y'all my classmates and, you know, like, y'all cool, but I'm not from here. And they laughed because they knew what I meant. They knew that my stomach was probably not gonna be able to handle the same thing that their stomachs could handle. And yeah, man, I ate with them and I was good, but I was scared. I was scared because I was like, dang, we gotta go back to class after this. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be okay. But luckily I was fine. There was another situation also with classmates where we walked somewhere and, you know, we sat down to eat and I looked under the table. I just had, because I was about to sit down and I had to put my purse somewhere. And I saw a rodent. He was deceased, okay, but a rodent nonetheless. And I told my classmate, I was like, hey, look up under the table. And he just shook his head and he was like, I'll sit on this side. And I sat on the other side. So what I'm trying to say is, inspectors, I don't know where they are. I just don't know where they are. So, all right, I think we've kind of painted a picture of that. Of course, that's not every place. I've eaten at some really nice places, but you just got to be mindful, okay, of where you go. Also, number 3 I have on my list is like deferred maintenance, which sounds so uppity, but all right, how can I put this? What I mean by this is, you know, the saying, you are not supposed to text and drive. Well, me and my friends would joke that you're not supposed to text and walk, especially around Mexico City, because the sidewalks were just uneven, or there were holes, or there was maybe like rebar sticking out. So you just needed to be careful is all I'm saying. Also, you could step in something, right? So when my mother and aunt came to visit, whenever we would approach the street that I lived on, I'd always walk in the middle of the street. And my mama asked me, she was like, why do you keep walking in the middle of the street? Why are you not walking on the sidewalks? And I said, because I know for a fact that that bush and that bush are public restrooms for the 2 men that live live literally on the street. They were homeless. And I witnessed one of them using one of the bushes before. And I was just like, I ain't about this life. So I would walk in the middle of the street just to avoid seeing or smelling anything, right? So that was just my little thing to do. Also, you know, and mind you, everything that I'm talking about is just a preference of mine, all right? Things that I'm not about, okay? Right? I also realized that I prefer, you know, like clean streets. So I actually realized this when I went to Berlin. So went to Berlin, was walking around, and I was like, this ain't clean, you know? So, because Warsaw, to be a capital city and for the amount of people that it has, it does a pretty good job of, you know, keeping things kind of tidy, at least the areas that I'm in. Certain areas like Złota Tarasy, Old Town, Nowy Świat, Marszałkowska, and the parks are really clean as well. So yeah, man, that's just what I prefer. All right, so cleanliness, deferred maintenance, Montezuma's revenge. Number 4, it's noisy. Okay. I like to open up my window and hear nothing. All right. I can deal with white noise like traffic or something like that. It's white noise to me at this point. Or like crickets, birds. I'm cool with that. But Mexico City has some particular noises that, I mean, you gotta love it at some point, but it's just like, damn, all the time, you know? So, for example, there's this recording. There's a truck that goes around. They start in the morning, not like super duper early. It's not like 6 a.m. or something like that, unless I just never heard them. But they start in the morning and they go throughout the day. But it is a truck with a recording of a woman's voice. And at first, you know, if you spend a week in Mexico, you're definitely going to hear it within that week in Mexico City. Sorry. From what I understand, it is a lady telling you to come out and bring your junk. I think they're collecting like electronics, because I think she says microondas, da 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 da. Like, I don't know what she's saying exactly, but I believe from talking to other people that that is the gist of this recording. But it's loud, okay? So you will hear her, and the truck will be the next street or the next street over or the next street after that over, right? Yeah, so that also, I was there during an election time. So there were, groups of people, fireworks. There were people on megaphones at night, like late. And so I was just like, what? I would text people and be like, what's happening? Because there was always something going on, right? And, I realized that I was in the center, and of course that's like, it's the epicenter. It's where things happen. But I also live in the center here in Warsaw, and it's like, it's just not the same, right? There was another noise that used to get me, and it was, there was this guy who would be selling something on this cart. He was cooking something. Okay, first off, I don't understand how that shit ain't catch fire. So it was a cart. I don't know exactly what he was cooking, but it was this long metal pipe. And of course, when the steam would go up, it would sound off like a tea kettle, but it was huge. So it was like a tea kettle times a lot, right? So it would just be this loud whistle. And if he was on your street, it was super duper loud. But of course, if he was still a couple streets over, you could still hear him. And I'd just be like, why? Like, why is that so loud? But my street, luckily, was rather quiet. Even the cleaning lady mentioned, because she asked me, did I like living on that street? And I said, yeah, I really, really like it. And she said, it's quiet. And I said, yes, kind of. Yes, compared to other streets. All right, so yeah, that's just me. It was kind of noisy, but I also understand that that's part of the culture. That's part of what makes Mexico City, but I ain't about that life. All right, so number 5, which I did not like at the beginning. I really did not like this, but then I learned to respect it. Still don't like it, but I did learn, like I said, to respect it. And that is the fact that somebody's always selling you something. And I'm the type of person, I like to be in my own little bubble. I like to walk in peace. I like to just have my headphones in, listen to J. Cole, whatever, leave me alone. I'm not here. I'm not here right now. And, certain situations, now I understand walking down the street, people have their stuff set up. But if you are eating outside, I think that's when I got bothered the most. It's because I'm, me and somebody, we might be trying to eat, but somebody's always trying to constantly sell you something. Then I realized, like, hey, it's not like they want to bother you. They just, this is their hustle. Like, they are hustling. And so I respect the hustle part, right? Especially in the touristy areas, like when we went to Cabo, like sitting on the beach, hell, you can't even see the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's just all up in your face trying to sell stuff. And it's just like, no. Most used phrase, learn this. Learn how to say, no gracias. No gracias. I respect it, but no gracias. Go now. I said. Okay? So, yeah, I think that's 5. Now, those are the 5 things that I disliked about Mexico. These are not my preferences. It is completely fine to know thyself and understand your preferences, and it's okay to say, I am not about this life. If you have anything that makes you say, I ain't about this life, drop it in the comment section below. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, if you have those, you could drop them in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at JasmineT_TV. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And yeah, next week, damn, I forgot next week's topic. And then don't forget, we have another topic coming up. People ask, how in the world do you support yourself while living abroad? And I will take you guys through my entire transition of jobs, and we'll get to talking about that. So it's my Saturday. I'm going to go out and chillax, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.